seen out of Dion this camp, and what do you want to see from him this year?
I think I want to see what everybody wants to see, right? We want to see a dominant defensive lineman. We want to see a guy that can absolutely alter a game, change an offense, how they plan to attack us. And so, yeah, and I think he's ready to do that. He's been dialed in. Like we'll just let him play, but he's in a really good spot. I'll tell you that. And bottom line is, when you get into and you've got 12 games, you need your elite players to play like elite players. And if you want to be an elite defense, those guys show up, and they lead from the front, and that's what we need.
Right, you've had the first round picks in this defense, but how is Deion's position? How does he alter a game plan, maybe different than the way Josh did or Jamin did or some of those guys?
Yeah, I mean, because when you're playing 11-on-11 football, right? They and then you take the quarterback out, so now really they only have 10, right? If he gets a one-on-one situation and he can dominate that one-on-one situation, we're winning plays. So then an offense has to start thinking, okay, how are we going to alter that? And then they start shifting, eyes and attention to that, and it's going to free up for other guys, and it frees up for scheme flexibility for us in terms of what we can do. So he causes all kinds of issues. He can eliminate parts of the field that offenses can attack. So that's why it's so vital for him to play at the level that we need him to play at.
This fall camp kind of closes out. Where's the biggest growth you've seen defensively?
You know what? That's a great question. Probably attention to detail. I think the guys, being an older group, it's now focusing on the small things. It's not just trying to execute the technique like a young guy would or a second-year player would. Now it's trying to, execute it to a really high level and then understand when I can take a risk. I don't want guys to be robotic. If you hear coaches say all the time, hey, just do your job. We need our guys to do their job. But understand in the grand scheme of things, when you turn on film, when a guy whips a block and makes a play, if a guy didn't do his job behind, nobody even realizes it. So sometimes we talk about you have to do your job plus. And so now they can get to that plus stage. Now they can get to, let me see. I've executed this at a high level. I'm not going to put the defense in any kind of harm. So now I can go do something else. I can go help somebody that maybe they lost their primary gap. So now I'm going to go to my secondary gap and make a play. I think that growth is the important piece.
Maybe you're on this guy's really
Probably everybody that you don't ask about.
Which gave me 3 specific names.
Did he tell you that he had 7 other players walk in his office and say, why didn't my name get you? Yeah. No. You know what? I mean, obviously everybody talks, about some guys in particular, guys that get plastered in the league. But you think about what we have across the defensive line, right? And you think about old guys like Trey Ripka, right? And Oxendine, and Keyshawn Silver, and Khalil Saunders. I mean, those guys, they're down in and down out and make life easier on the entire defense, right? People haven't really talked about JJ this camp, and we understand the difference that he can make in a game, right? And so to call him unsung, but then you look at the safeties nobody really talks about, and you talk about Zion and Jordan Lovett and Ty Bryant, and adding Christian Stoll into that group. Maybe they don't get the talk about the hype, but how important that is to make the correct call, make the right fit, understand all the different coverages that we play. Everything that's so important. We talk about the middle of the defense, and you talk about the D-line, the inside linebackers, right, and then those safety positions. And so I think, to me, those guys, it's so vital. It's so important that they play well, and they have in the past, and maybe they don't get recognized because they're doing their job so the ball goes somewhere else, right? If you've got everything covered in the middle, the ball gets thrown to the edges of the defense, right? Or the sack occurs, and then everybody talks about the guy who got the sack, but they didn't realize how good the coverage was, how good the pass-off was, in the talk and the communication. In this day and age, with shifts and motions and eye candy all over the place, those guys in the middle have so much to do, and they're steady eddies.
Brad, I'm sure you enjoy having a guy like Alex Parr. You can do a lot, right? Nickel, and then what do you see his role being this year? What does he bring to the table, and being able to do a lot of different things? What does that look like?
Do you want the game plan?
No secret sauce.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Just what Alex brings, and when you just talked about it, you talk about his versatility, and we can do multiple things, and we can, he's added weight and girth, and so he can still do what he's done in the past. He can play out. He's comfortable in that, being out to the field and playing in some of the apex, but then to be able to slide into the box on the line of scrimmage, and do work against tight ends, off the box inside, and play inside linebacker. He's a natural blitzer. He's got good feel and wiggle. So if we can get him blitzing from the second level and get him on a back, that's a plus matchup for us. And so in this day and age, it's so much about matchups and trying to create those one-on-ones. And if you can get the right one-on-one matchup, it gives us a chance to win that down. And he gives us different ways to get to the right matchup.
Brad,
how was JJ a minute ago? What have you seen from him throughout camp?
I've seen a increased maturity in him. He would tell you, right, that he's been around here a long time right now. And there's a calm and sort of him and D-Jack both, they sort of have that nothing gets too high now. The emotion, they know how to keep it in check, and they can just play ball. And I think there's a freedom to his game right now that we'll just call it that it's been missing, and he plays the best that way. And so we just got to keep him in that headspace.
How was fear breed?
Denise Jackson, just what you see from him this camp, how's he progressing to this point?
He has a long way to go.
How has fear breed progressed here through this camp?
You know what? That's one where he's had good days. He's had days that he needs to improve. Like the big thing for him is consistency, and he knows that. And so much about what we do on this team and what we do on this defense is we talk in reality, and we're honest. We look in the mirror and say, okay, is that good enough? Is that not good enough? And hey, am I consistently where I need to be? And he's still trying to gain that consistency, because when he's on, he's a difference maker for us, but we've got to put ourselves in a position to be in that on a consistent basis that doesn't then put the rest of the defense in jeopardy.
Folks, I got all players.